German journalist Tatjana Flade commented on Kamila Valieva's return to professional sport after her doping ban expired. Valieva is officially eligible to return to competition. Her ban expired on December 25. It will be very interesting. Incidentally, I had hoped she would return after her ban. Kamila is still young and very talented. Of course, it won't be easy after a break and maturation, but if she has the desire and works hard, I think she has a good future, Flade said in an interview with Sport Day by Day. The results of her December doping test, which found the banned substance trimetazidine, were announced during the 2022 Beijing Olympics. Following a series of legal proceedings, in January 2024, the Court of Arbitration for Sport (CAS) suspended the skater for 4 years, starting from the date of her positive test, December 25, 2021. As a result of Valieva's suspension, Russian figure skaters were stripped of their gold medal in the 2022 Olympic team event.
I was sitting.
Kamila Valieva, one of the most famous figure skaters of our era, can finally return to her primary pursuit, sport and competition. As of today, her suspension has officially ended, and she can now safely take to the ice without fear of jeopardizing any of her fellow athletes. Back in 2022, the then 15-year-old skater faced a difficult fate. A doping test taken in December during Kamila's victory at the 2022 Russian Championships revealed the banned substance trimetazidine. The test results were unexpectedly released during the 2022 Beijing Olympics after the team competition, where the Russian team took first place, thanks in part to Valieva's contributions. Following a series of legal proceedings, in January 2024, the Court of Arbitration for Sport (CAS) disqualified the skater for the maximum 4 years, but the disqualification began to run from the date of the positive sample, December 25, 2021. Since the skater had participated in all Russian competitions prior to the court's decision, she effectively took a break from ice skating for only about 2 years. As a result of Valieva's disqualification, Russian figure skaters were stripped of their gold medal from the 2022 Olympic team event. Valieva herself lost her individual gold medals from the 2022 European and Russian Championships, as well as 2 more medals at the Russian National Championship, a medal from the Grand Prix final, the Russian Jumping Championships, and 4 Grand Prix events. Valieva was eligible to return to official training on October 25, 2025, and she took advantage of this opportunity. Then, in the fall of 2025, it became known that she had terminated her collaboration with her longtime coach, Iteri Tutberidze, and had begun training and choreographing programs with a new coach, honored coach of Russia Svetlana Sokolovskaya. It became clear that Valieva was serious about continuing her athletic career. This was indirectly confirmed by the change of coach. It was reported that the parties had parted amicably. And it's unlikely that Tutberidze, whose skaters are already facing the prospect of entering the international arena, would want to be associated with doping scandals again. For Kamila herself, being with the previous staff would clearly be less pleasant and would evoke thoughts of a difficult past. Moreover, we witnessed the fruits of their collaboration from a less than favorable perspective only recently. Daniil Glichengoz was not allowed to accompany Adelia Petrosyan at the Olympic qualifying tournament in Beijing. No official reason was given for the decision, but many attribute it to Valieva. Sokolovskaya, in this regard, is less visible and more supportive. For example, the group's leading star, European champion Mark Kondratyuk, wasn't afraid to dedicate a routine to Kamila while she was banned from training and competing. Moreover, the coach now works at Tatyana Navka's Our Hopes Academy. Valieva competed in the Olympic Champions show, even during her disqualification. It seems that under Sokolovskaya's guidance, Valieva may indeed return to competitive ice. But where exactly would she return? Several years ago, given the end date of Valieva's disqualification, many spectators wondered if the Russian Championships would be held later than that, in which case, Kamila would theoretically be able to participate. But no. The tournament was held in St. Petersburg from December 18 to 21, 2025, so the skater was not there. Of the significant tournaments remaining for Russian figure skaters in the second half of the season, besides our Olympians, the only remaining competitions are the Russian Grand Prix final and the Channel One Cup. However, athletes are entered into these competitions based on their performances during the given season. In recent years, another tournament was added, the Russian Jumping Championships. In its very first year, Valieva won it, but later lost that medal due to disqualification. However, firstly, it's still unknown whether these competitions will be held this season. Secondly, even if they are held and Valieva is entered, is this the best option for her return? Considering the lack of proper training, the loss of difficult jumps, and the presence of ultra-C elements among many of her competitors, this is a good sign. Of course, Kamila's participation in next season's tournament seems the most favorable option. Especially since she will be entered into both Russian Grand Prix events without any problems. However, if her neutral status on the international stage is maintained, it's unlikely that Valieva will be able to count on appearing there anytime soon. Such a major event as the end of Kamila Valieva's disqualification couldn't leave many of her colleagues untouched. For example, three-time Olympic figure skating champion and State Duma deputy Irina Rodnina, in a comment to Championship, assessed the skater's prospects after the end of her disqualification. The question about Kamila's prospects should be addressed to her, not me. What does my experience have to do with it? I've never coached her and don't know her condition. I don't know her mental state, let alone her physical state. When was the last time you saw her on the ice, performing elements? The last time I saw Kamila on the ice was at the Olympics, almost 4 years ago. I'm not good at reading tea leaves. We've had many different examples, both in figure skating and in sports and life. Whose role model she'll follow, nobody knows. Russian figure skating championship bronze medalist Katerina Gerbel detailed for Championship what Valieva needs to do for a successful comeback. Whether or not she can return to the top is up to Kamila to decide. The question isn't even whether she can, but whether she wants to. If someone really wants something, nothing is impossible. We've seen striking examples from Zhenya Plushenko, for example, that you can miss a significant amount of time and still make a strong comeback, placing highly. There were also unsuccessful comebacks. Much depends on whether Kamila is motivated to work twice as hard as everyone else. Everyone worked and wanted to be as good as Kamila. In this situation, she needs to put in 10 times the effort. The question is how ready she is for it and how strong her desire is. Again, nothing is impossible. But honored coach of Russia Alexei Mishin was more succinct and simply supported the young woman. I wish Kamila Valieva all the best. He was echoed by renowned commentator and journalist Dmitry Guberniev, who, in a commentary for Championship, also expressed confidence that Valieva is capable of achieving success on the international stage. Kamila Valieva is returning to sport, like many before her. Like Alexander Lozhanov, who returned and became world champion. Kamila needs to complete the gestalt of victories. She's young, talented, and matured. She hasn't lost her skill, she's only gained it. Kamila is capable of achieving a leading position not only in Russian, but also in world women's singles skating. Championship joins in the kind words and sincerely wishes Valieva good luck in whatever life and athletic path she chooses in the future.